Appetizer I'm going to make is a yellowtail with jalapeno slices. This has become a really popular appetizer at restaurants lately, but it's a lot more cost effective to make it at home. A pound of yellowtail runs between like $16 and $18 at the Asian market, which is generally where you're going to have to find it. One specifically with that specializes in Japanese and sushi. So I've got my fillet here of yellowtail. Now I have a sushi knife, specific sushi knife, which is, it's carbon steel and has a wooden handle because your hands are usually wet while preparing sushi, so helps so you don't slide. This is not absolutely necessary, but you do want a really sharp knife. If you do decide to go with a sushi knife at some point, they are right and left-handed because the blade is only on one side. So just keep that in mind. They're also delicate and they take a lot of upkeep. So stainless steel is another way to go. All right, so first thing I'm gonna wanna do is slice my yellowtail. I have a little bit, see here, of part of the, not stomach, I don't wanna say anything that grosses you out, but some of the lining material here that I'm gonna wanna cut off first. So that's going to be the first thing I do. Let's just slice that off like so. Now when you're cutting things that are soft, like tomatoes, like sushi fish, you're going to want to use the length of your blade and not pressure. So I'm going to come through and just take some slices like so. This is about 2/3 of a pound, so that's about how I'm getting the size slice I want. Of course, now it depends on what part of the fish, because it tapers as it gets near the tail. So just, you know, you can trim it. If you got a really wide piece, just cut it in two, or you can cut the sushi pieces after the fact. But I'm just going to go through and slice like this. Now, the thing that I'm going to want to be careful of, first of all, there are some bones in here, so make sure that you remove those as you come across them. But I'm not going to want to use any of this material in here. So as we get up into this area, I'm going to cut away from that area there, so that, because that's not tasty. Not tasty. So, if you do cut down into it, then just take your slice. So like here, I cut down into this, then I'll just slice it across there. So you can see that at the top. All right, getting out of usable meat, I will just switch it around to the other side. There is a seam on this side, so you will see that some pieces might fall apart a little bit. That's fine. You're going to be setting these flat on a plate, so it's not going to matter. And if your slices aren't absolutely even, that's okay. We'll just design it so they overlap. Okay, save a little bit of that for rolls. All right, so since I've got a kind of a light colored fish and I'm going to be using a white plate here, you can certainly use a darker plate as well. But I'm gonna do a pop of green in the center with my seaweed salad. Now I can just sort of arrange my slices around, and just as you go around, you can alter them. Put your prettiest ones forward and whatnot. I find, and it's, you know, up to you, but flowers are always pretty. I always make things look like a flower. Makes me sound a lot girlier than I am, but you know, when it comes to food, people like what's pretty. All right, now we've got our yellowtail out, and I'm going to slice my jalapeno. I'm going to take the bottom off because I want, you know, the shape, and I'm trying to keep it as even as possible. So I want to get kind of towards the body of the jalapeno. And depending, taste your jalapeno because they can vary so much in heat. I know they have this scale, it's ridiculous. It's not, jalapenos, I've had some that are barely tolerable hot, and I've had some that might as well be a bell pepper. So if you've got one that's really light in heat, then get a little bit bigger slice. If you've got one that's super spicy, then you might want to remove the seeds. That'll help a little bit. Let's see where we're at with this one. More on the bell pepper side. So, but I'm not going to go too thick because that just texture-wise won't work. If you can't find a jalapeno pepper that is spicy, and that is something you're looking for, you can always go with a serrano as well. So then we're just going to lay slices of our jalapeno on top. And then this isn't necessary, but I like to sprinkle a little bit of like Masago just to give a little bit of that orange color as well. There's also Tobiko, which is flying fish roe. It's also pretty light in flavor, but it comes in a bunch of different colors, from reds and golds and oranges. So that's kind of fun as well. And maybe I'll put a couple daikon sprouts around as well. Play with your garnishes. There's plenty of fun things out there. Now the daikon radish sprouts do have a slight peppery flavor, so they add to the flavor as well as the presentation. All right. And now just before I serve this, I'm going to drizzle it with ponzu sauce, our citrus soy sauce. This is diluted enough so it's not going to start, you know, cooking it ceviche style on the plate. For those of you not familiar with ceviche, it is fish that's cooked with the acidity of lemon or lime juice. But still, you know, it looks fresher and nicer if you dress the plate just before you're going to put it up. All right, and there we have it. For recipes and videos, visit my website cdsquire.com or subscribe to my YouTube channel.